Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alejandra. Today, you guys, I am really excited because today we're going to have a special guest, and her name is Kim. I love Kim so much. You guys actually met her a couple of months ago when we talked to her, and she talked about her journey with scleroderma, all the awareness she does to spread awareness about scleroderma, and you guys got to know her more. But today we are going to do a little bit of a different video. We are actually going to talk about mental health. And the reason we're going to talk about mental health is because it's May, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I suffer from mental health, depression, and anxiety. And she also has some mental health problems. And a lot of people don't know, but when you have scleroderma, you can also have mental health problems, and a lot of people don't talk about it. So we decided to have a little conversation about mental health and about different topics that come up. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay, you guys. So I'm super excited to introduce my friend Kim. Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you. How are you?
I am good. I am really happy that you are back in this channel. The last time we talked was a couple of months ago. Well, and for this channel, me and you talk all the time. But for this channel, it was a couple of months ago when you told your story of how you got diagnosed with scleroderma, everything that you're doing to spread awareness about scleroderma. We got to know you more. Today, we are going to talk about different things, but specifically on mental health. We are in May, so it's Mental Health Awareness Month. Um, and I want to know, what kind of mental health problems do you have?
So, like, so back when I was 21, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. Yeah, anxiety and depression. Now I'm on a very low dosage of depression medication, only because I had a stroke when I was 21, or I had two strokes when I was 21. So they were like, "This is a huge jump, like
Yeah,
in your life, and it's a lot to go through."
yeah.
And then from there, I got sent over like a therapist to talk to me and stuff. And as far as anxiety, it just went up a bit because I started breaking out into hives, and the only thing they told me was, "Oh, it's stress causing it."
Yeah. With medication, do you feel that your medication helps you, or do you feel that it's affecting you more? Because I have heard a lot of stories of how medication, instead of helping that person, affects them more.
Mhm. So for me personally, I don't know about any others, but for me personally, like as far as like my depression medication, because I'm on such a very low dosage, it doesn't affect me. It actually helps me, and that's why I'm always so like happy. I'm so uplifting and stuff like that. My anxiety medication, though, it's been up and down because they haven't been able to like narrow it down, and because my body is breaking into hives and still with the anxiety medication, it's not helping. So we don't know if we have to go up in dosage. We're still trying to figure that out. But I personally love it. I love my depression medication because if I stop taking it one day, like I get depressed so bad, and like
Okay.
I start getting into like dark mentality.
Yeah. So your depression medication, you take it every single day. What about your anxiety medication? Is
It
it just when you need it?
For right now, yes. So with the hives and stuff, they're trying it. They want me to like eventually start taking it every single day just because of my itchiness and stuff for a few months. But until now, because that hasn't been like a change yet, I'm taking it only when I need it. And so typically like that's like if I'm having a really big surgery or something like that that comes into with like my medical history. But up until now, it's just like when I need it, and it works out great.
Okay, yeah, same with me. I am not on depression medication. I have never been. Um, but I think I never been on it because when I hit my low, that I was maybe 3 4 months in being diagnosed with scleroderma, and I wasn't really treated with the right doctors.
Mhm.
So I don't think they knew how to handle the situation that I had scleroderma, all the changes I was going through, and adding depression. So I was never, even though I was diagnosed with depression, I was they never gave me medication, which I think maybe would have helped me a little. or a lot, would have helped me. But like I said, I didn't have the doctors. And by the time that I had a really good doctor, I didn't need it. I didn't need a medication. With anxiety, same thing happened in the beginning. They diagnosed me, but like I said, when you have a good doctor, they don't know what to give you. Now that I actually have a good doctor and I am going through the problem of anxiety right now, I do have medication, but like you, I only take it when I'm having a really bad anxiety attack where I feel that I can't breathe. I feel that, I just feel like I can't do anything. And even though I don't like taking medication, because okay, I have a problem. I don't take pain medication or like, other things that are not like my treatment because I just got tired of taking medication that I feel like I don't need sometimes, even though sometimes you need your pain medication because that pain can get really bad. But I feel like I do have a big pain tolerance. So I'm not really big on taking extra medication that I don't feel like I need. So I haven't really taken my anxiety medication like, when I have those bad days. But I do have it, and it's nice to have a medication that that if you need it, it's right there.
Yes.
And a doctor that can explain to you, this is what you take when you're going through A, B, and C, and you don't know how to get out of it. Because I think with anxiety, you kind of start finding ways to, if I have an anxiety attack, this is what I need to do. The breathing,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's good to have the medication. I'm glad that your medication is helping you. And when you got diagnosed with anxiety and depression, how did your family take it?
My family, they were, it was like weird because they were like, obviously they were super supportive. They were saying, but why are you depressed? What's going
Mm-hmm.
on? I don't think they fully understood that, dealing with scleroderma and all my autoimmune diseases, they didn't know that it was not only a physical aspect, but it was also mental and emotional. And I feel like, especially in the Latino community that we're both in, it's very hard for a parent to accept that your child has a mental health. Luckily, my parents were really open. They were super supportive. They were like, whatever she needs, but they didn't understand like why.
Yeah.
And I mean, and which is hard, especially, I don't know about other cultures, but specifically in the Latino community, it's always like oh, she's like that only because she's sick, or it's only a mental thing. No one really can see it. You're not sick. And I mean, like I said, luckily I'm very happy that my parents understood, and they were like, okay, but it did take them like maybe like 30 minutes to fully understand
Yeah.
that this is also mental.
Yeah. I'm glad that you brought up, we're both Latinos. We come from Hispanic families. Um, and yeah, having a mental health in a Hispanic family, it's not really a good thing, or they think you're crazy. They just think you're just making it up. Nothing's wrong with you. Why are you sad when you have everything? Or why are you sad when you have what you need? Or like nothing's wrong. And you're like, it's not just that I'm sad. I don't want to be sad because I don't have this. I'm sad because it's something deeper, that you can't control. Even with anxiety, they're just like, people are like, oh, just calm down. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy just to calm down, and yes, our culture, the way our grandparents, their grandparents are raised, it's really different for how me and you are being raised.
Mhm.
Like you, my mom was 100% supportive. She was like, okay, we need to figure out what to do. We need to, start seeing how we can get help for you. You need to tell us what you need, how we can help you. And she was there 100%, as well as my husband. Yeah, it was hard for them to understand because it's not something that we're open about it. But they like us started researching of what we can do to help me. But yeah, I have family members that still don't believe in it, think it's just a crazy thing that you're gonna get over it. And it's hard, having being raised as a Hispanic and having a mental health or even a disease, it's really hard. They
Oh,
don't, I don't think they truly understand how to deal with it, especially with scleroderma, because it's not out there. It's not, it's not like saying, oh, you have diabetes or you have cancer. I think cancer, like a lot of people know, well, most people know what cancer is and they kind of know what's going to happen. But when you tell them you have scleroderma, they're like, are
they're
you,
like, are you fine?
yeah, are you okay? Like, what medication or, like, everything's going to be okay. Or they start giving you those home remedies that they think that it's going to help you. And it just doesn't help because scleroderma doesn't work like that. I wish it did. I wish it was just like a common flu that you take a tea or, whatever plantas they give you and you're going to be okay. But it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, sadly, sadly, there is no cure up until now. And, I work really closely to the Scleroderma Foundation. So, that's where a lot of people can donate and stuff. So I highly recommend it.
Yes.
But I do talk to a lot of people on that foundation. And so the change that we want to make is like to educate people what scleroderma is. And I feel like that's the only way that eventually we can make a change. And so because not a lot of people know about it, I'm like, well, that's because no one actually living with scleroderma wants to talk about it, because not even we know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I'm glad that you mentioned the foundation. I'm part of the foundation. I am a support group leader for two groups, for an older group and for the young adults. And you're right, a lot of people don't want to talk about what scleroderma is. And I think they don't talk about it because they just don't want to go through the hassle of explaining what scleroderma is, because talking to someone and telling them you have scleroderma, you have to explain.
Yeah.
You have to tell them this is what scleroderma is, this is what it means, this is what this can happen to you, and tell them, not all scleroderma patients are the same. Me and you both have scleroderma. We're completely different. We've been through completely different lives, and we both have scleroderma. So I think a lot of people don't talk about it for that reason, not to have to explain, because but scleroderma, you have to explain what scleroderma is 1,000 times in your life. Like
Yeah.
going to the doctors, nurses, going to insurance, pharmacies, everything. You have to explain what scleroderma is. It gets to the point where we're just like, it's tiring. Like it's tiring, and I think that's the reason why people don't talk about it. But you are doing an amazing job spreading awareness about scleroderma. I love your podcast. I love everything that you've done in social media to spread awareness about scleroderma, especially with the young adult community, because being young and having scleroderma can be really hard, really hard. And you are doing a lot to help people understand, be there when someone needs that support. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I'm your friend, and because of you being so involved in social media, that's how we met.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that is honestly how we met. I think that you shared some awareness video that I did for scleroderma, and then you invited me onto the scleroderma group. And then yeah, so now we talk like instead of like every few months or something, now we talk like every month. Is it for the scleroderma
Yeah.
support group? Yeah,
Yes.
so I love it.
Yeah, I think the support groups really helps. Like I said, we're gonna talk more about the young adults because we're both in the young adults, even though we both have an older group, but we're both more involved in the young adults, and it's because we're both young and we know the struggle of living with scleroderma and being young, the fact that people judge you so much for certain things that you do. And sometimes you're like, I'm young, let me be, like, let me enjoy. You got diagnosed at 12, I got diagnosed at 18. Our whole life is practically with scleroderma, and it's like there's days when you're just like, I want to know how it feels to go out in the town, enjoy with my friends, with my husband, and live somewhat normal without knowing that, okay, the next day the pain is going to be there. The next day you might not be able to get out of bed, but it's gonna be it was worth it at the end.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's worth it.
Yes, and I feel like because we are young, even if you're older, like it's okay. I feel like we all need like a that little day of distraction, maybe even a few hours to like not worry about scleroderma because yeah, scleroderma impacts our life 24/7. So even just to have like a few hours where you kind of forget that and you remember how to be a young adult living with this, like we try to have as much fun when we can, and that's maybe once a month, maybe every 6 months. But I mean, to feel have other people attacking you for having fun maybe one day in like a few years, it's horrible. I know for me personally, I was like nonstop sick since 2019 until like now, and it was back in January. And I always hated posting on social media that I was going out, dressing up, having fun, because they're like, what does it mean? I thought you were sick. Like, yes, I'm sick every single day, and I'll still be sick even if I do go out or even if I stay home. Like, I mean, I'm gonna be sick, so let me at least have fun my way, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, with me and the same, I stopped a lot from posting because same reason as you, because you post one day that you don't feel good, but then the next day you're like, okay, let me do this big effort to get out of bed and try to, maybe go out for a walk, go for a coffee. And they're like, well, you weren't feeling good yesterday. Yeah, I can still not be feeling good, but I need to get out of because if I stay in bed or stay stuck in I'm in so much pain, it's gonna be worse, you know? I also stopped myself from posting. I have two pages. One is for, my personal use and me, my closest friends, my closest family, where I know that they won't judge me by the way that I am. And the next one is, of course, related with scleroderma and everything that has to do with scleroderma and just certain things you can post there because you're being judged. Um, but yeah, it's really hard to be a young adult living with scleroderma, um, and people understanding that it's okay to enjoy life, you know?
That's why I got to the point where like I mean, you know my Instagram. I post everything. So even on the days when I'm like crying, I will post it because I feel like, I want people to see like yes, you can have a life chronic illness and still live your everyday life. Yes, some days it's going to be awful and you're going to want to cry in bed, but some days it's going to be worth it and I'm out like walking my dog.
Yeah,
I feel like I have to show everyone every bit of piece of well not like every single piece but like the majority of my life
yeah,
because I want them to know like there's still hope. You're still human, you still deserve to have fun.
yeah. And I love that about you. I love that you post the good and the bad. I used to only post the good of scleroderma, and it got to a point where I'm like, I need to post the bad as well because I do have my bad days. I do have the days where I don't want to get out of bed, the days where I can't sleep, the days where sometimes I just need advice from other people to see, get that, oh, I'm going through the same thing, or maybe you can do this and that and it will help you. So I have started little by little opening up more about my bad days and as well putting my good days, because it is true. We have our good, we have our bad. There's days that we can be bad, but we want to fake it like it's good. And it's nothing wrong with it. You just want to feel like it's good, even though it's not.
Yeah, I mean,
And it
and
can make you feel better.
yes. And that's like also like famous people, celebrities. They also have their bad days, but yeah, they only want to show the good. But I feel like this is everyone's life. It's just some
Yeah.
people want to post about it, some people don't. And
Yeah.
that's like our personal choice. We can choose to show the world who we are. I mean,
Mhm.
but I feel like everyone needs to take everything with like a grain of salt. Like not nobody's life is perfect. I promise you that.
No, no one's life is perfect. We all have, our good, our bad. Um, and people need to stop judging others as well. I think that let people live the life however they want to live. They have scleroderma and they want to go out, let them go out, let them enjoy. If they want to have a drink, let them have a drink. You know how long it has been that I haven't been able to have a drink? And it's not saying that I love to drink, but hey, I would like to like a glass of wine, a margarita here and there. but and post it like, hey, I'm having, a nice dinner with a glass of wine, but knowing that people are gonna be like, well, aren't you on medication? Didn't you just have like an infusion? And it's like, yeah, it's a glass of wine. Like, nothing's gonna happen. Like
I know.
I'm not overdosing myself.
If anything, we're overdosing ourselves with medications.
Exactly. Exactly. Why aren't you worrying how much medication I'm taking instead of worrying how much drinks I'm having?
Yes, like honestly, that's one bad thing about the amount of medications. Like, yes, they can help us, but oh my gosh, the list of side effects. Like,
Exactly.
this is too much.
Exactly. It is. I think having a glass of wine maybe will help me sleep more than my medication to go to sleep. I will have less effect on, side effect on a glass of wine than my medication is going to give me. Or even the way you dress sometimes, how people judge you. I don't know about you, but the way I dress is like, you should be wearing that because it's too cold. And I'm like, okay, but
Yeah. I got in a huge fight with like both my parents when I was younger. I was in middle school,
mhm.
and I don't know why. Thinking back now, I'm like, I should have been more responsible, but I don't know why. I don't know if this was the case for you, but I used to hate taking like a big jacket to school. I don't know why. It was embarrassing for me. Now I think it's ridiculous. I should have,
Yeah,
watched out for
yeah.
my health, but that always used to be the fight with my parents. Like when I was younger, I was so embarrassed to take a jacket.
Yeah. Or the umbrella.
Yes, or it was the umbrella. And so the thing with me in my middle school, it was like trailers for sixth
Oh,
grade.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I was outside. So even when it was snowing, even when it was raining, like anything, it's going to be cold for me. Like even if it's
Yeah.
under 70 degrees, like I'll still be freezing.
Yeah. I know. I know. So when we're young, we just, even now, I see it in my nieces and nephew, and I'm like, I see how they act, how we're like, oh, take a sweater, it's come. They're like, no, it's not even cold. And I go, I used to be like that. Like, as kids,
Why?
why do we act like that? Why do we act like, oh, nothing's gonna happen to us? And though it's just water, we get wet, we get wet. No, you're gonna get sick.
Yes.
I used to hate taking umbrellas. And now I'm like, I have like 3 umbrellas because if I don't find one, I better find a different one.
Yes, exactly. Like before when I was younger, like I remember my dad used to be like, take a sweater because te va a agarrar pulmonía.
Yeah.
And I swear I did not I guess I didn't think it was a big deal, but now if it's under 80 degrees and I don't zip up my sweater all the way up,
Yeah.
I'm like, me va a dar pulmonía.
Yeah. Or
It's
when
so,
they tell you you can't go out with your hair wet because
yeah.
you're gonna get sick. Before I was like, it's not gonna happen. Whatever. It's just what parents tell me. I don't go out with my hair. If my hair
Oh
is
yeah.
wet, I don't go out. Like even if it's just to get them out. Nope.
Yep.
My hair is wet. Like,
Yeah.
oh, can't wait.
No, for real. I purposely take a shower before I have to go out. I'm like, oh, my hair's not ready. I can't go out.
Right? Yeah. But yeah. It's just things we do when we're young that we think now that we're like older or like, how can we do that? Like, but it's just us trying to be young.
Yeah. And
And
I think
even
what?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, even now, even though we are more aware of our health, I think that we still deserve to have fun and we shouldn't be criticized for it because, life is so rare. Like, if we are, we're 100% lucky to be alive today, and we don't know how we're gonna be in 5 years. So let us have fun now while we can, even though the next day we're gonna be in pain. Like, we're
Yeah,
gonna be in pain regardless. So
exactly.
let's all have fun.
Or not even in 5 years. We don't know what's gonna happen next week. Like
Yeah.
we don't. Or even next tomorrow. We don't even know if we're gonna wake up with a pain or a new symptom in your. And then it's we don't know. We have to enjoy your life. Right now I'm in the point where I'm enjoying every day. Like if it's the last day, let me enjoy. I don't care. Even with my TikToks, when I started doing TikTok, I started doing it because let me spread awareness.
Yeah.
But I love to dance. We're Latinos. We dance. We come from a
Yeah.
family that they dance. Parties are like music all the time. I've been dancing my whole life. And I'm like, why am I not dancing? I love to dance. I do it, with my friends and my family, why not do it on TikTok when everyone is doing it? So I started doing it, and then I kind of felt like, yeah, people are gonna say that I shouldn't be dancing this way because I have to them. Oh, I shouldn't. And then I'm like, whatever. I don't care. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people say about me. Um, and then after I'm like, I shouldn't care. Like my mom always told me, if they don't pay your bills, don't care what people say about you.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I'm gonna do it. I'm taking a month off for mental health because
Mhm.
it did get too overwhelming. I'm still working on the side. I'm just not posting about it. But
Yeah.
I am gonna duet you on TikTok. I have like a video planned because I love it. And I think that's what, living life is, whether we have
Yes.
a chronic illness or not. Like I feel like
Exactly.
we're the same as everyone else.
Exactly. We are the same. We're the same. We shouldn't be able to enjoy some dances, and who cares what other people think. My issue was I care a lot about how I people in the foundation see me,
Okay.
because um well, I am really like quiet and shy and stuff like that, but I can also have a crazy side of me that not a lot of people know, like my husband, and like closest friends really know. But
Mhm.
it's not that I'm crazy, I'm just like enjoying life. And then, people are like, oh, because you drink. I don't drink. I drink. I only got like drunk maybe like 3 4 times in my whole life, and I'm 29. I like I said, I enjoy a drink here and there, but I like having fun. Like I love having fun. So I always thought that I have to keep this good girl.
Oh, the
um,
image.
y- yes, but I'm like, but dancing and doing things doesn't make me a bad person.
Yeah, like I
Like
mean, if you were to smoke weed on the live stream, yeah, that
it'll be wrong.
yeah.
Exactly.
But dancing,
Yeah. So it got to a point, even like a lot of things happened these 2 years of the pandemic that really changed my life. That I was just like, you know what? I don't care what other people think. I don't care what they say about me. I know who I am. The people around me know how I am. And if they accept how I am, why should I care what other people that don't know me or are just judging you have, a say in my life? So I just started like, whatever. People say something like butter, it slice off. I don't care.
yes.
I'll listen to you, but I'm just like, whatever. Like, this is who I am. Just because I'm doing dances don't mean that I'm not, doing, goodness, hold on. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But yeah, being young and having scleroderma and the image that you have to have, which is so dumb because scleroderma patients are all different. All
Oh
different.
yes. I mean, for me and you, like scleroderma affects us on an we are like water and oil. Like
We
it affects us
are.
way differently. Like I know you've had what was it, hand surgery or wrist
Yeah.
surgery?
Yeah.
And I
Hand
mean,
surgery.
yeah, and I mean I had hand surgery when I was I think 18. I had a digital sympathectomy, but it was
Mhm.
totally different than what you have. Like for me, scleroderma affects the way my lips are. Yours, I mean they look fine.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
haven't affected me.
yeah, I've lost fingers because of scleroderma. You haven't. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, we are like water and oil. Like it
Yeah.
affects us in different ways.
But we both have scleroderma.
Yeah.
And people don't see that. And another thing about me is that apparently I don't look like I have scleroderma. And so um they're like, well, you don't look like you have scleroderma. How am I supposed to look? I don't know. Like
I
I'm
guess
like,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Like
guess they want to see us in a wheelchair.
I guess. But even being in a wheelchair at a young age, they look at you like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's like I always get that, and that's something that I always get mad about. Like, you don't look sick. Like, how is a sick person gonna look like? Like how? Or
Exactly.
you're too young to be sick. There's kids that are sick, right? There's kids that have all this different disease, and they're still kids, and they're sick. So age has nothing to do, but I think it's just the ignorance in people.
Yes, like I know that when I first started, so I had to have a handicap because
Yeah.
when I get a lot of fatigue, but I got it because I when I had knee surgery
Hmm.
due to a crazy accident. Aside from
Hmm.
scleroderma, it was just I was walking my dog, I
Yeah.
fell, whatever. And so I had to have a handicap sticker for that reason, but I did it permanently because I do get a lot of fatigue, or sometimes when it's cold outside, I don't want to have to walk like 5 minutes just to go inside
Yeah.
a Walmart. And oh my gosh, the looks,
Yeah.
of older people, it's crazy. And I
Yeah.
got to a point now where I'm confident enough. I'm like, they don't know my story,
Yeah.
whatever. But at first it used to really trigger me because I would want to like show off that I was sick and I did need this. But I'm like, you only see them for maybe 2 minutes and then that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing happened with me. So I do have handicap as well. I got it when I a couple of months after being diagnosed, because my breathing was getting it was harder for me to breathe.
Mhm.
So my doctor suggested, I was like, no, I don't need it. I'll be fine. They're like, no, you should get it. Like, it's going to help you. And I'm like, and like a lot of people, I thought handicap was just, for like older people. And I felt bad parking there. But then I was just like, I need it as well. It's hard for me to breathe and being parked all the way in the corner when there's a parking on the front that I can use. So I started using my handicap, and yes, the stairs, the judgment, those whispers, and you're just like, oh, I shouldn't park here. But then, yeah, I'm like, whatever, I'll park here. It's hard for me to breathe. Like,
Yeah.
or my feet hurt. It's cold. Oh, it's raining, but you still need to go to like a doctor or pick up something, that you need to be out. So the parking is there. It's for disabled people, not just for older people. Because a lot of people think it's for older people.
Yes. And same thing with like the handicap bathrooms. Like there was a point where I did need a wheelchair because I got like, again, the knee surgery and stuff. But I don't use it like all the time, but it's just when I need a wheelchair, when my mom needs to come help me or anything like that. And oh my gosh, like the people that would see me as soon as I would get out of a handicap stall, if I looked fine, they were like, that's like a handicap bathroom, right? And I'm like,
Yeah, I
okay.
can read. I would
Yeah,
answer like,
exactly. Yes. No, like at first it was when I got the handicap parking sticker. At first, people would yell at, they're like, that's a handicap parking. My mom was always the one that would defend me. Now
yeah.
I'm just like, there's no point in needing to explain to someone who doesn't want to listen, because we're gonna get upset and it's not worth it.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. Even here when we go to theme parks, I go in a wheelchair. I cannot walk those theme parks, but yeah, I want to go have fun with my family and, enjoy the theme parks. I mean, I'm in Cali. There's a lot of theme parks here to enjoy. And I remember the first time I went to Disneyland. Disneyland is huge. Even for a regular person, it's tiring. Imagine for someone that, has scleroderma. So I took my wheelchair, and the looks, because people think that you just want a wheelchair to get in front of the lines. I don't care if I need to make line. I'm in a wheelchair because I cannot be standing for like an hour in a line or to get food. But people don't understand that. And if I had a choice, I'll be walking. I want to walk. I want to enjoy not having able to like squish through places, because it's not easy being in a wheelchair.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, like you have to be able to squish into certain places, and it's uncomfortable sometimes. But there's times, and it's bad. But I was in a wheelchair. I've done it twice already at a theme park where I can hear people just talking and judging me, and they're like in front of me, right? And I accidentally bump into
Well, good.
and
They deserved it.
my husband and my mom are like, they look at me, and I'm like, it was an accident. I couldn't stop, because when we go to like theme parks, I usually rent there instead of taking mine, because I don't want my husband pushing me throughout the whole day. It's tiring. So we were rented. So I'm like, I don't know how to use this for. But I've done it twice at theme parks, because it gets you mad.
Yeah. Like one thing that I always tell myself is like, I never say it out loud to people, but I'm like, I'm young. Like, if I didn't need a wheelchair, do you really think I'll be in a wheelchair?
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's not that I'm lazy, which is
Exactly.
typically what people think. But I mean,
That's what people think, that you're lazy, that you don't want to walk. And it's like, you really think I want to be sitting here when I can be enjoying my life and, being able to walk normal and I have to worry if, my feet get swollen, if, you know,
Yeah,
but just people don't understand. But that's where our job comes in, where we like keep spreading awareness about scleroderma, letting people know that even though we're young, we still have scleroderma, but we can still live somewhat of a regular life,
I
as
know.
regular as we can make it for ourselves.
Yes, and that's why so for season 2 I'm starting my Spanish podcast because I started getting more like spreading more awareness for scleroderma in the Latino community. So
Yeah.
I was actually on the news a few weeks ago to talk about scleroderma because it's like scleroderma is already rare, more specifically in the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
So most recently in my recent adventures, other than like spreading more awareness for scleroderma, I've been spreading scleroderma in the Hispanic community. So I've been going on the news. I'm gonna start my season 2 in Spanish. Obviously, I'm gonna have some English in there, but it's mainly gonna be Spanish. I've been doing more Spanish TikToks. I've been doing a lot of more Spanish content.
I'm glad that first of all, congratulations on doing that in you for a Spanish audience. And I'm really happy that now you're spreading awareness for Hispanics because a lot of Hispanics don't know what scleroderma is, and a lot of the support that we have is in English. A lot, our support groups are in English. The foundations are in English, and everything that we do is in English. And there's a lot of people that want to attend these meetings or want to learn more about scleroderma or even help more but can't because they don't understand. So I'm glad that you're doing Spanish. Your season 2 is going to be in Spanish. You know, they need the help. I have members in my support group that attend and they can understand what we're talking about, but sometimes it's hard for them to really express what they're going through because their first language is Spanish, and we also want to create a support group for Spanish speakers, which I think it's really good. But it's hard to start a new support group. Our young adults took us a while, and to start from the bottom and trying to get all the resource, it's hard. But I think, yeah, a lot of people that are Hispanic need that help. They need that support. When you research scleroderma, everything's in English. And even for us, in my case, I get it's funny because for the foundation, I have my husband's last name. I got married before being part of the foundation. So I have my husband's last name, and I will get calls from people asking, "Do you talk Spanish?" And I said, "I do." And they're like, "Oh, we figure you speak Spanish because of your last name." And I always laugh because I'm like, "That's my husband's last name." But yes, I do speak Spanish, but it's hard for me to explain like certain treatments in Spanish or medications in Spanish because all my medications are in English. How do I tell them that I have an infusion or the name of the infusion in Spanish? So I think it's good that you're doing and helping all these Hispanic people, Spanish speakers that need that support.
Oh yes, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Alejandra. Like the first time I did the Spanish for the news anchor, like there was certain words that I just cannot say in Spanish, like
Yeah.
scleroderma.
Mhm.
I think it was like esclerodorma or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think you add an E, right, at the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So like I can read Spanish perfectly, but as far as
Oh.
when I pronounce stuff in Spanish, like sometimes it doesn't come out right, or sometimes after I had the stroke, I did lose a lot of my Spanish, so like I had to
Mhm.
relearn the language, and
Yeah.
so like certain words because I don't speak it like mostly every day or it's
Yeah.
every other day because my dad only speaks Spanish in the house. Like that's always what he said. He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'm only gonna speak Spanish because you guys
That's
have to
good.
learn Spanish. So that was good, but as far as like medical terms or other stuff, like I don't know what it is.
Yeah. See, and my case is different. I talk English with my mom. My whole life, I talked English with my uncles all talked English, so it was easier for us to communicate. The only person that really, well, she knew English but wouldn't talk would be my grandma. So English has always been like in our family. Yes, we do talk Spanish, but for me to now that I'm older and I am married to a Hispanic as well, I talk more Spanish and I am more open to talking in Spanish because growing up, I didn't really know how to talk in Spanish. And, people make fun of the way I would say things, we're like the Spanish, we talk Spanish. So it is harder, but now I am open more to talk Spanish, especially when the foundation gets new members in Spanish. I get involved because I know the help they need. I know, or when a young adult gets diagnosed and I can talk to them in English, but their parents don't understand. And I want their parents as well to understand, their son, their daughter, what they're going through, that there is support for them as well as parents, because it's not only support for the patient, but for the parents. I'm pretty sure that if your parents needed the support, and they wanted to get the support, to have a place where they can get it, because having their daughter diagnosed at 12 must have been really hard for them,
Oh
you know,
yeah. Yeah.
especially if they didn't talk English. You go to this foundation and you're like, oh well, I need the help, or you even go to a doctor and they don't even talk Spanish, you
Oh
know.
my gosh, yeah, yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
since you are open to that, I'm gonna be the first one to invite you to my Spanish content because I think it's so important that yeah, like we do talk about it, and like you said, not only to the patients but also for the parents. They also need to know what's going on.
Yeah, thank you. I would love to go. Like I say, I do talk Spanish. I'm more open now. I'm not that shy in talking Spanish like you. There's words that I can't really pronounce, and I get frustrated. My husband makes fun of the way I talk, my mom as well, but I'm like, hey, you understood what I said. So,
Yeah, exactly. And also it's like you're speaking a second language. That's already more than like half
yeah,
the people in this country. So be proud of yourself.
exactly. I'm like, I do what I can, especially now with like Google Translator. When I have to write something to like a new member, I make sure that I Google every single word that it's correct, because I want them to get that help and that support. Like we said, in the Latina community, there's not a lot of support. There's not a lot of awareness going on. And we need to open it. We need to, be the people that are opening up, letting them know that there's support, there's awareness, they can get the help, understand what scleroderma is, help them, have the great team of doctors, because it's something that it's hard to get a great team of doctors. What doctors do you need? Something they're just like, oh, it's scleroderma, you need just a rheumatologist. No, you need a doctor that specializes in scleroderma. A rheumatologist specializes in RA and all of that. You need a scleroderma specialist. And people need to know that. People need to know that there's specific doctors that you need. In a Latino, you don't know. You just think, un doctor RA, un rheumatologist. Like,
Yeah, and that's it. I'm
yeah.
very blessed because my rheumatologist is closely connected. So there's actually a scleroderma clinic here in Atlanta, which I had no idea about. So actually, my rheumatologist was the one that told me about that. But it's like if you go to somewhere like in Ohio where like
Mm-hmm.
they're not as advanced, they just probably see they don't even have a rheumatologist. They probably just have a regular doctor.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Same thing happened with me. So when I got diagnosed at 18, my primary doctor diagnosed me. And it, to my surprise, he knew exactly what scleroderma was. He actually started giving me medication under the rug, because I was already in so much pain. I was in so much pain that he's like, I need to give you medication, that's going to start your treatment. Just don't tell when you go see your specialist, just don't tell him you're on medication and, listen to what he was saying. And I trusted my doctor so much that I was like, okay, I'm going to take his medication because it's going to help me. Um, and when I went to see the specialist, it was a regular rheumatologist, but I didn't know any better. I didn't know that I was supposed to see a specialist in scleroderma, not a regular rheumatologist. And I wasn't getting the help. I wasn't getting the help at all. I was getting, I got the same medication that my primary doctor gave me and other medications that were just, you know, like for a regular patient, you know? So even in here that in California that we have our specialists, um, they don't, since they don't know, they send you to any other a regular rheumatologist instead of sending you to a scleroderma specialist. And here we have Dr. First, we have Boakman, we have Clements, we have really good scleroderma doctors here.
Oh, I'm so glad. And see,
Yeah.
that was the thing when I had to get my wisdom teeth extracted back in December,
Hmm.
with through my insurance, they would just send me to like regular dentist. But well, after I told them, and I'm like, do you know what scleroderma is? And they would be like, yeah, I mean, I googled it. I know certain enough. I was not comfortable to actually be put on anesthesia and having my wisdom teeth. And
Yeah.
so I went to my Emory clinic where they did. The first thing I asked them was, do you know what scleroderma is? She came, she brought a person who lived, I think like his mom had scleroderma, so like
Hmm.
they were 100% okay with it. And I'm so glad I did, because so when I had my wisdom teeth, my mouth was not wide enough, so they had to make like small incisions. So
Yeah.
I'm like, if I would have just gone to like a regular dentist, maybe this thing would have continued on and they wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But because I went to like a scleroderma specific, like they actually knew what it was, I was so happy I got it done there, because I was like, I can't imagine having surgery and then them not knowing what scleroderma was.
Yeah, I know. Same thing happened when I had my hand surgery. So my rheumatologist, he told me, okay, this you need carpal tunnel surgery, and it was time. It was so 11 years of me suffering with my hands. Um, and since I had already been through so much of doctors not knowing what to do, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and act like I don't know what scleroderma is and ask my doctor, you know, if they know what scleroderma is. And I did. I went in and I was like, I started telling him, you know what, I have scleroderma, I'm on this medication, this medication. Okay. He's like, and then he goes, do you know what scleroderma is? And I go, why? Like, acting like I didn't know. And I'm like, I'm part of a foundation,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, a little, why? And then he started explaining to me what scleroderma was, the symptoms, what was gonna happen when I have surgery, how it was like, he was gonna like make sure that my cut was small so I will heal and all the process of healing. And he made me feel so comfortable. And that was something that I was scared because I was like, I'm having surgery. We know that having surgery for scleroderma patient is a big thing because you don't know if you're going to heal. I was more scared of, am I going to heal, than how the surgery was going to go, if it was going to work or not. So he made me feel so comfortable. He explained to me, he's like, I'm gonna open as small as I can the day of the surgery when, going under. He explained to me, this is how much you're gonna put because it can affect you and all that. And, thank God my surgery went well. And then I had it in October, November, December, January, February. 4 months later, I had my left hand.
Oh, well, I'm so
And
happy.
yeah, and I healed from my right hand really good. You can't really tell. Can't really tell. I have it. I have the cut, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't care. I can have it. But my thing was, am I gonna close? Like, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I told my rheumatologist, he's like, okay. Then I went back to my rheumatologist and he's like, and I told him, you know what, I'm having surgery for my lifetime in February. He goes, it's only been 4 months. And I said, yeah, but look how my hand is. He goes, perfectly. It was perfectly done that I was 4 months. I had my second surgery. And, to this day, I am doing really good. My hands, are not fully recovered because I don't have the strength that
Yeah.
I need, but I'm doing much better. Really good.
Well, I'm so glad because yeah,
Okay.
that's always the thing with like healing. I know for my wisdom teeth, when I would just go see a regular dentist, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's no big deal. You should heal up like even in a few hours after." No, when I
No.
went to go have my wisdom teeth extracted, and they had to make small incisions for my mouth. It took me the recovery, like the healing process, took me a little bit over like 3 weeks to heal
Yeah.
completely because then I got an infection and stuff. But
Yeah.
I was like, that's always a scary part about having surgery, specifically with scleroderma. Like
Yes.
your healing wounds could always take longer.
Exactly. Even just a regular cut can
Oh,
take long to heal. Like you just get a cut and I'm still like I have a scarf, like it still hasn't healed. And like even going when you go get a pedicure, just make sure that you're like telling be careful because it's you start bleeding and it's like you're like a diabetes person. You don't stop. Like,
oh
you can heal, you know?
yeah. No, and with me, so because I had the blood clots, they put me on a blood thinner. So they
Um,
always warn me like you will bleed out, and so it is true.
yeah.
It's like if I get a paper cut, I will bleed out for like hours, and like
Yeah.
you would think someone like sliced my hand open, and it's just a little cut.
Yeah, I know it sucks. And that's things people don't know. People, they don't know that we don't heal. They don't know that a cut can affect us a lot, you know, emotionally, mentally, bleeding for hours can like, mentally hurt you, thinking like, am I gonna heal? When is it gonna be okay? You start stressing out, then your anxiety starts coming and
It's this whole cycle. That's why I
yeah.
always feel like you only see like the physical side. You don't really see the mental side of
Yeah.
things. And with scleroderma, if it wasn't for my hands, I think I would look perfectly fine. Like when I wear gloves, people are like, "I didn't even realize you were sick." I'm like, no, I do." Like, look at
Yeah.
my history.
Yeah, I know. Same thing with me. Like people look at me and they don't think I'm sick, and I go, "If you only knew, if you only knew the pain that I'm going through right now, Or I complain a lot about my hands a lot, and people are like, "Well, how do you do your makeup?" Yeah, but this makeup took me like 2 hours to do. You don't know that. You only see the makeup because it's already done, but you don't know how early I have to wake up to do my makeup, to do my hair, or the help that I get, or I wear press on nails. You don't know how the struggle it is to do, but it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm kind of normal. Let me be. They don't see what comes behind everything you do because they just see, oh well, look, she looks perfectly fine.
Yeah. Like I remember a few years ago when I would go to a doctor, I would not get ready. I would go no makeup and stuff. And so I guess like patients specifically, they would be like, okay, she's sick. But now the only time I get to dress up is when I go to the doctor. So yeah, I want to look cute. I wear my matching tennis shoes. I do a little bit of makeup. And so the
Yes.
doctor's like, you look great. And I'm like, yeah, but you only see me for like 15 minutes once a year. Like,
Yeah.
what about the rest of the year? And then I have to like
Mhm.
explain to them like this is not my everyday life. Like I
Yeah.
had to do, and my mom would be like, "Why are you dressing up to go to the doctor?" I'm like, "Well, one, this is the only chance I get to dress up." I'm like, and two, it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
every
I'm the same way. The only place I get to dress up is for the doctor if I'm doing a video or something.
yeah,
Or maybe weekends if I go out just to eat. But even if I don't go out on weekends, I feel like I have to get ready on weekends because it's the weekend. I'm in like biker shorts and a t-shirt the whole week. Like,
mm-hmm.
or leggings because it's just comfortable. But no, my rheumatologist actually gets really happy. Like when I go in and ready, he's always like, "You look so pretty. I'm happy you always get ready." My mom, okay, so we grew up with my grandma always saying antes muerta que sencilla, meaning you better get ready even though you feel like you feel bad, you better get ready because you know getting ready is gonna help you. And it does. I feel like it helps me when I have a really bad day and I'm like, maybe if I do my nails I can feel better. Or maybe brushing my hair out will help me, you know? So I grew up with that, with my grandma always telling me that, my mom too, always telling me that. And I before when I was younger, I wouldn't go out to the market without makeup. I was that kind of girl. The more I grew up, the more I struggle with my hands because of scleroderma. I kind of stopped doing my makeup, even just going to the corner.
Mhm.
But I felt more comfortable in my skin. I was like, okay, I don't always need to wear makeup to, to look good. I can, be without makeup. But I love wearing makeup. I love it. Like it's just something that I enjoy doing. But people think, oh, like that makeup, they don't know. Maybe it took me 5 minutes to do. Maybe it's just an easy makeup, just I got used to, one eyelashes, eyeshadow, lipstick, let's go. And you look like you're ready.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a huge part of the mental health because at least for me, like even if I shower, like that already to me makes me feel so much better 100
Yes.
times.
Being able to shower feels so good. Like, yes, it does. I thought it was just me, but because there's days when you're just like, I can't. Like, you physically want to, like, you want to, but you physically can't.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, I want to shower, but I just can't. But those days that you can shower, or then like you wash your hair, because I don't wash my hair every day. For what, right? I don't go out, and plus I don't want my hair to um so I don't wash it every day, but when I wash my hair and like being able to like put that shampoo now without like my hands going to sleep or numb or like the pain, it feels really good.
Oh yes, and I feel like that stuff is like so underrated. So for me,
Yes.
like I don't know what it is, but I have to do my bed every single day.
Yes.
And I don't know, my mom thinks I'm crazy because sometimes like I don't have energy, but I'm like even if I feel awful, like I will still do it, even if it takes me 30 minutes.
Yes.
That way, like I feel like okay, then I don't because I feel like if it's not done, it's just easy for me to go back in the bed.
Hmm.
Versus when it's done, I know like even if I lay down, I'll take a nap, but I'll get up. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why, but I love doing those little things. It makes me feel better mentally and yeah, physically I feel horrible, but it makes me
Mentally, it makes you feel good.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Same with me. Okay, so I used to live with my husband in a room in my brother's house, but it was a really small room, and I clean as my I have OCD. I I have OCD. Um, so I will clean as much as I could. We recently moved to my new place, and I'm every single day. I'm exhausted, by the way, but I am trying to get this place ready. And my husband and my mom are like, stop doing things, stop trying to clean, stop trying to unbox things. And I'm like, I have to do it. Like, I have to. Even if it takes me the whole day to unbox something, but I'm gonna do it. Even if it takes me the whole day to like try to sweep or mop, but it makes me feel good because then I'm just like, okay, a clean place makes me feel better.
Yes. Yes. No,
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Same with so I have this thing, I think it happened after I got the stroke. I would have to like turn off every light switch if I wasn't in that room.
Oh, I do that.
And so I don't know why like my sister would make fun of me saying, "Oh, you're crazy. I don't know what this thing is, but I don't know why I just hate wasting electricity. I don't know if it could be a form of OCD. I don't know, but it makes me feel so much better if I'm not in a room and I turn off the lights."
I do the same thing. I go out of, especially like I said, we just moved, so there's things, everywhere, and then my mom and my husband going out and out of the room. But and I see that they're not in it, and I will turn the light off. They're like, "We're about to go in." And I'm like, "Well, you're not in it. Go in. Turn it on when you go in."
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, but I have the same way. I turn off, especially here in this house. Like, there's a million light switch. I don't know why. Like, there's like a lot of light bulbs, and it like stresses me out. Like a
Yes.
lot.
Yes, like if I see it on and sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be like quote unquote crazy and go turn it
Yeah.
off, but it bothers me. Then I later start itching or start getting nervous, and so I'm like, I have to go turn off this light. And
Yes.
I don't know, I don't know, and everyone makes fun of me, but I came to a realization that I'm like, I just don't care. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
turn it off. If not, I'm gonna go crazy.
I know. Yeah. Same here. I'm telling you, I don't know why there's a lot of light switches. It's like we have like a little hallway and it's the like from the beginning of the hallway to like the end, there's like a lot of light bulbs. And I'm like, you couldn't just split it in half and I don't wanna like it's crazy.
Oh my
It's
god.
crazy. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, turn everything off. And then I have like so I always wanted to organize like my fridge.
Mm-hmm.
I always saw the videos on TikTok and I'm like I said, I have OCD, so I wanted to make sure everything was like that. And then last week, I hadn't had time to do it and I started like buying all the containers and organizing it. And my husband was like, you're tired, like your hands hurt. I'm like, yeah, but I need to organize my fridge. Like it needs to be organized. He's like, it doesn't have to be organized. I'm like, it does. Like it for me, it has to be. And I think that's another mental health problem that I have. Like things have to be organized.
Yeah, but hey, if it's better for you, but I love hearing that, like, your husband, like, even though he knows you don't have to do that, I feel like he sounds like a very supportive husband, and like he knows, like, he doesn't do extra stuff to like stress you out. He's just like,
No, he doesn't. He supports me 100%. We've been together over 10 years. So he's been there since day one of me being diagnosed. So he knows the good, the bad, the worst, everything. And ever since we've been living together for 6, married for 5. And even doing laundry was like, okay, I need to do laundry. I need to fold the clothes. He's like, you don't have to. Like when I get home from work, I'll fold the clothes. No, but you don't know how I fold. He goes, it doesn't matter. Like he does everything too. Like right now, his lunch break's at 1 and he will call me. And then he like call me right now. He's like, why aren't you answering? I'm like, I'm in a meeting. He's like, I was already worried. You haven't answered. I'm like,
oh,
it's fine. Like he calls me and texts me 24/7, especially when he knows I haven't been feeling good. Because I haven't been feeling good these last couple of days. But yeah, he does everything to make sure I'm okay. He's like, there's when I had surgery, he was sleeping on the floor. But not on the floor, but an inflatable bed because he's like, I don't want to hurt you. What if I move? And I'm like, okay, I was like, we can just be like that for like a week, until like I get used to sleeping with like a big cast and everything. He's left there for like a month for my first surgery and then another month for my second surgery.
see, and I feel like a lot of people they don't really understand like that part of having that emotional support, because
Yeah.
it gives you like a sort of comfort, like, and I feel like, well, at least I don't know about for you, but at least for me, when I was younger, a lot of people would make comments. They're like, "Oh, you're so pretty. Too bad you're disabled. No one's gonna really love you, or no one's gonna accept you." I'm like, yes, there will be. It may just take some time, but I promise you, like, there's a million people in this world. Someone's
Hmm.
bound to love me.
Yeah, there is. There's like I said, my husband met me 3 months. We were dating 3 months before I got diagnosed. And when I got diagnosed, I told him that I didn't want to, keep dating because I had no idea what was gonna happen. He said, no, we're gonna figure it out. It's been 11 years. And even I before we got married, I told him, you need to go talk to my doctor. Like you need to make sure that before you sign that paper, because we were dating. Like he can easily, break up and nothing will attach us.
Yeah.
And like, but you're about to sign the paper. Like I need to make sure that you know what you're getting into. Like I know but just 100% that it's in my disease, it's forever. Things can happen. In my case, we don't know if I can have kids and make sure. So we did. I took him talk to my doctor, even though he goes to all my doctor's appointments. But I was like, I need to tell my doctor, I need to make sure you scare him. Like, like you scare him and you tell him the really bad what can happen.
Yeah.
And we did, and he's like, okay, we're still getting married. Like nothing is changing. I know. I've seen the good, the bad, there's days where I feel so bad because um I get like a lot of anxiety at night.
Mhm.
So I don't sleep. So I'm like tossing and turning. So then I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna wake him up. And he's like, I'm already awake. Like, don't even worry. I'm like, but you have to go work tomorrow. He's like, it doesn't matter. I just need to make sure you're okay. And I tell him, go to sleep. I'll be fine. I'll eventually fall asleep. He's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry. But yeah, he's a really, really good support. My mom as well. But I think as parents, your parents will always be there for you, but to have that person that's not your parent or a really close family member cares so much about you and worry so much about you, making sure that you're as comfortable as you can, or even with him, like following my crazy ideas, because there's days where I'm just like, it's on Sunday, let's take a 2-hour road trip just because I need to get out of my house, or I need to, breathe fresh air, and he goes and takes me, that I need a Starbucks because I'm addicted to Starbucks. um, I'm like, I need a Starbucks. Okay, let's go get one. But yeah, he's a really good support. I'm
Oh,
so happy and so blessed that I have him with me.
yes, I'm so happy you have him, and that's good that he doesn't scare easily.
He doesn't. He really doesn't. Like, he always tells me, I'm not scared of anything. I'm not, and I go, well, that's good because I'm
A
scared of
plus.
a lot. For my even for my surgery, I was more concerned about him than I was about me, even though I had never had surgery before. But I know how worried he gets about me, and I was so worried that he wasn't gonna be, we didn't know how long my surgery was gonna take. They told me about an hour or two. um and I remember it was early in the morning. I told him, go eat, because I was already in, and he wasn't allowed in because of COVID.
Oh,
So I was like, go eat. He goes, I can't eat. Like, I am not moving from this parking lot. He wasn't even in the waiting. He was in the parking lot.
oh,
Waiting because he couldn't be there. I'm like, just go eat. He's like, no, what if something happens? Like, they're calling me and I don't make it on time. And I'm like, okay, there's like a food truck outside. At least go get food, you know? And then after surgery, I found that he didn't eat because he just couldn't, because he was worried that they were gonna call him and stuff. I'm like,
oh my gosh, I'm so happy you have him because
thank
the
you.
having like scleroderma is already super life changing, and just to have like support, like you said, other than aside from your parents or your family members, like to find someone who accepts you, who loves you, who cares for you, is a big win.
It is. Yeah, thank you. And you're still dating, right? You're still with your boyfriend?
Yes, we
Mm.
yeah, he hung in there, and I remember I always like to share this story, and he's not on social media, but I'm gonna talk about it anyways.
Mhm,
So for the month of February, because it is February
mhm.
rare disease month, I remember I asked him, I said, I know I'm perfect and everything. And I'm like, I know I'm beautiful, but why would you want to be with a disabled person? Like,
Mhm,
and oh my god, Alejandra, like when I tell you, like he made me cry. He said, "Well, it's cause Kim, I don't see you as someone with a disability. I see you as Kim, and your disability is just an extra factor of you." I
mhm.
swear, like I think that was some words that I feel like no one else needed to hear but me to make me
Yeah,
feel better.
yeah.
And oh my gosh, Alejandro, literally like that day, and I think a few weeks after that, then we said I love you to each other. So
Mm. I am so happy that you found him. We talked about it a year ago or over a year ago. You finding someone, and when you finally told me that you had a boyfriend, I'm so happy. I know it's gonna work. He sounds like an amazing person. It can be hard sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard sometimes because our because of scleroderma.
mhm.
Sometimes it's hard, and you know like I see it in my husband. He's like, I want to help you, I just don't know how. And I see the frustration in him wanting to help me and not knowing how. And I'm like, there's sometimes I don't need you to help me, I just need that support. But it's amazing having the support of a person that, like, we said, it's not family and loves you, regardless of everything you're going through, and regardless of how you look or how you feel. But I'm so happy for you. It's been an amazing talk with you. You know how much I care about you, how much I love you, how proud I am of everything that you are doing, everything that you are accomplishing. As a friend, I care so much about you. I'm here for you all the time whenever you need someone to talk to. Um, And thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining this channel and talking about your mental health. I know sometimes it can be really difficult to talk about mental health because we don't want to get judged. But we have to change that in a lot of people, and people need to understand that it's normal. It's normal.
Yes.
It's okay to talk about it. But thank you so much, Kim. Thank you for joining this channel.
Thank you. And as always, my DMs are always open. Follow me on @strong_selflove on TikTok, Instagram, and now my Self Love Sister podcast. I'm so grateful to have connected with you, and I cannot wait to have you on my channel for that Spanish podcast.
Yes, I can't wait. I will leave all your information in the description below. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did recording and talking with my friend Kim. Follow her on all her social medias. I will be leaving all her social media in the description below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to give it your like, subscribe down below to this channel. Leave any comments if you want to know more about me or about scleroderma, and I'll see you next time. Bye.